we go. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, Anarka. How are you doing?
I'm kind of having an anxiety attack because I just found this.
Okay,
Holy shit. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm just holy wow.
okay.
I before I was
I
just
took I'm outside. I took the dog out.
oh.
He'll be running around and then he'll be back. Okay, so we should be finished by then. Okay.
Yeah, it
Anyway,
won't take me long, but I before I found this article here from Brave New World Blogspot, I actually the only thing that I previously knew about Herald X is that like there's like one or two or three issues, and that it was the first Philippine punk rock fanzine. Like
yes, yes.
I know about it, but I really don't know anything about it, and this is 55 pages long. So usually
Yes.
with interviews, I've got a pre-base of knowledge, but how did this start? Can you tell me everything you know about Herald X?
Oh, Herald X was started by Tommy Tanchanko. It was originally intended to be promotional tool for Twisted Red Cross tapes, and it was patterned after Maximum Rock and Roll. Actually, that was the inspiration for it.
I can kind of see that with the design. I'm as I'm talking to you, I'm that 55-page PDF. I'm just scrolling through it. I haven't even read this. It's just so massive. I thought it was
Yeah,
like I've seen because I've got some of the vinyl reissues of like George Mussolini's Fascinating World of Garbage, Independence Day, so forth,
yeah,
and some of them have scans like. There's obviously in Herald X Volume 1. I haven't read the second volume, but in Volume 1 there's an interview with the bandits, and that interview was in the sleeve of Independence Day, the reissue, and so
yes.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but now that I found this PDF, oh my god, this is so super massive. Just I'm
Herald
overwhelmed.
X was just composed of three people.
Three people, holy
Tommy,
hell!
basically three people. Tommy Tanchanko, who is referred to as the commander in chief. Uh,
That's awesome.
Myself was referred to as the chief of staff, and Dodong Biray, the late Dodong Biray, he has already passed away,
Aw,
was referred to as interior minister.
that's awesome.
There were government references because Tommy, when he started, was the time was the son of a cabinet member of
Yeah,
President Ferdinand Marcos. Yeah.
that's I know that, and that is just absolutely insane. And the fact that he had third world chaos, that is, I
Yes.
don't know how you say fuck you to a dictator even more than that. I'm just saying, that just
Yes,
that's
pretty much.
crazy.
Yeah. I guess you could say that.
I made it.
We've had some contributors. Me, myself, and Didis Gonzalez, who took most of the photos. Well, the late Didis Gonzalez, he passed away. I think a couple of years ago.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Uh, we were together in Jingle Music Magazine.
That's the magazine that the private stock went to get their artwork
Yes,
done.
yes, yes. And well, Jingle was still around when Tommy started Herald X, but it was manned by new folks.
Oh, oh,
I mean, it was no longer our batch at the time.
oh.
There were separate generations, and I was no longer with Jingle when Herald X started. Yeah, and because there were only three of us, uh, most of the articles were written by myself, although I used different names
You did a
to
lot of writing.
yes, to give the impression that we are well staffed when in fact
Yeah,
we're not.
I'm just saying. Like I thought this
Yeah,
was originally like maybe 5 or 10 pages. I did not expect 55 fully in-depth,
yeah,
full-blown
yeah.
pages.
I think one of the articles there, the article, sorry about that,
That's okay.
on Woods was written by their bass player Alfred Guevara.
Damn. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've skimmed through that. I obviously haven't read this entire thing because I found it like 10 minutes before I called you. But
Okay.
I'm
I only got to reread it again. I think just last month. I
oh
found it.
wow.
I just found it weeks before you, ahead of you. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna after we're done with this interview, I'm going to read this like it's the Bible of punk. I'm just saying. I'm gonna for all of those listening to this interview, which obviously it's not live, but I'm going to reissue this into a fanzine version, and I'm gonna make a book. It needs to be
Yeah.
preserved. I
Yeah.
hope we can find
So
volume 2.
yeah. What?
I said
You come again?
I said I hope we can find the second volume. That would be great.
Yes, yes, I hope so too. If you've noticed, there are also articles on foreign
Yeah,
bands.
I see a lot
Uh,
of dead Kennedys in here.
yes, which we lifted from other sources, which we
Yes,
of course acknowledge.
Generation X. I see there's a article written about them. Where have all the punks gone? Class of '77 revisited.
Yeah, and I think there's one on
X.
Susie and the Banshees.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here's X-Ray Specs. You got an interview with her. It looks like.
yeah.
Damn. Chaos Circus 1987. There was a time.
Oh
Wow.
yeah. Hmm.
This is like a museum. I'm literally looking at a Pinoy punk museum in paper form, and whoever's out there listening to this, whoever did this 55 digital PDF, like it's I can zoom in, I can read everything, and it's all legible. Whoever did this, give them a fucking medal. This is
Yeah. I can imagine that takes a lot of effort.
yeah, I did. I mean, yeah, obviously you've read it yourself, but so um
I mean, scanning it at that legible. I mean, given the fact that the paper is already old, probably yellowish or grayish
yeah, it
by this
definitely
time.
looks aged. So were you how early in the Pinoy punk scene were you? Were you in the absolute dawn, the very beginning of it, or when did you take part in it?
Oh, we actually live in the neighborhood near Piltrade, where the Brave New World started in Pasay City. So
I'm getting goosebumps.
I was right there. I mean, I guess you could say I was just lucky. Me and my brother, who is a DJ, we went there. It started with there was a disco in the area. It's called On Disco. I don't know if the other interviewers told you about that. And then
No,
this,
this first I've ever heard of it.
yeah, and then On Disco, sometime in the late 70s, started this new wave night.
New Wave Night.
New Wave Night, where they had the DJ. Well, Holiday was one of the DJs. Yeah, and they had live bands. Joey Pepe Smith was one of them in his punk base, and the Jerks. That's where I first saw the Jerks. Yeah,
Yeah, I've got a Bayet Miguel of Betrayed. He sent
yeah,
me, I think, a 4 or 5 song recording that they did back in like 1980, and he told me it's unreleased. So
yeah,
I've officially got to listen to something by them. I'm kind of sad because I guess the Jerks don't have any albums.
yeah. But I think they have. No, they released an album later, but they were no longer into. They were no longer doing punk rock by that time. But I think you can find in YouTube. Uh,
There's live videos and there's some music videos of them. Like there's a bunch of live stuff, but there's like no studio albums, and it's kind of
no,
sad.
no, no. You can find in YouTube. There's a studio recording of "Romantic Kill,"
Romantic Kill.
one of the very first punk singles.
I will definitely check that out. Is there like a cassette tape of it? Otherwise, I'm gonna have to make one.
I think I think it was no, I think it was taken from a cassette source. Howell and Dave used to play that a lot in DZRJ.
Speaking of DZRJ, so I'm on page 35 of Herald X, and I
Okay.
believe you're the best person to ask this question to. Studio Z. I keep seeing this studio reference in almost all of the Philippine punk rock cassettes and records that I know. What is Studio Z?
What do you mean Studio Z? I don't remember Studio Z.
Um, okay, almost all of the punk cassettes and vinyl I have say recorded at Studio Z by Jim Sertal.
Oh, Studio Z, I actually have no idea where it is because I wasn't privy to the recordings.
Oh, I get
But
you.
I can imagine it's probably owned by Tommy Tanchanko as well. Because later he did own a recording studio called Pink Noise.
Pink
He
noise.
operated it. Yeah.
Damn.
Uh, but that was much later. Incidentally, let's go back to On Disco. On Disco was owned and operated by Sonny Tanchanko. I think he was Tommy's uncle.
Oh, nice.
So so there's the so the connection is there. Mm. And I think a few months after New Wave Night started on Disco, Tommy organized the very first Brave New World concert at Piltrade in Ross Boulevard. Mm.
Wow. What was
Mm.
did you go to it?
Yes, of course. It's just a
Oh,
stone's
yeah.
throw away from our house. How can I not?
Can you just tell me what that experience was like?
It was quite unlike any experience that I've seen at the time. Yeah.
I
But
would
before that,
imagine.
Piltrade was holding. Piltrade was starting to hold some rock concerts there, mm. which is strange considering that it's owned by the government. And
Yeah, that's what blows me. That's the when I talk about like Turbo Chaos and Twisted Red Cross and all that. When it boils down to it, that right there is the part that blows my mind.
yeah. By the way, the very first Brave New World concert was the debut performance of Third World Chaos, then known as simply Chaos.
Yeah, I know that most Pinoys know them as Chaos, and on
Yeah.
so I don't know if do you follow my reviews at all?
I
Or,
haven't gotten around to it. I'm sorry.
it's okay, it's okay. I posted Brave New World all the time, but yesterday I finally did a review over Brave New World Live Part 3, which apparently, according to Beat McGill, Brave New World Live Part 3 cassette Twisted Red Cross catalog number 2 is apparently Brave New World 5.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the sound quality is not very good,
yeah,
but
I'm aware. I'm gonna try to remaster it as much as possible, but I don't.
yeah, but I suppose the today's technology can actually make them sound a little more better. Yeah.
I just that Brave New World Live compilation or that Brave New World Live Part 3 is officially my favorite live punk album of all time because it's just I love Rescue Letters and Human Barricade 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, but that is just I can't even explain it. It's just so explosive
Oh yeah. Mm.
and ethnic
But
ethnic.
nothing beats being there though.
Oh, obviously, I would get someone out there build me a DeLorean, get me a flux capacitor. I'm going back to the 80s in the Philippines. God damn.
Yeah, well, it's too bad we didn't have smartphones at the time. Otherwise, we would have recorded that for posterity
I
and all
mean,
that.
what I'm kind of concerned on is okay. Brave New World 5 obviously it made it to a cassette tape. So
Yeah,
so no one at all recorded the first ever show, like even with the tape recorder or something.
I think it was in Piltrade back at the time. They used to record performances, but in Betamax.
Oh my God! So somewhere there's an extremely rare Betamax of
Yeah,
I know what that is. I know what that
but
is.
I don't know if there's still a player that can play that.
I've got a Betamax player sitting right across the room for me. Well, it looks
Yeah,
like my new mission is to track down someone and figure this out because I need to hear this. This
yeah,
needs to be preserved.
yeah.
I'm very OCD on this type of thing. But
I've seen some of the field trade shows recorded in Betamax format, and then they reshowed it later there. But I don't think anybody still owns any of those tapes, if ever,
well,
because there have been changes in administration
yeah, I
and
understand.
administrators and all that. I don't know, but could it be lost in the translation? Yeah. And if the Betamax tape got sticky, I don't think it's playable anymore.
Well, if it ever did exist, I'm pretty sure it does. Even if it's in someone's basement in a box, It's somewhere. I believe in it. I will find it. But I was gonna ask you a question. So since this is
Yeah,
actually a pretty 55-page bulky magazine here, um, I have a gist of what it takes to make a fanzine because I used to kind of do a small one. How much did this
yeah.
cost to produce? Like, how much time and money went into this thing?
Uh, well, Tommy financed it, so
Oh,
he's the one. He's the one who was talking to the printer. I just asked me to edit and write. So
I
I'm not really
understand.
privy to how much it costs. But I guess at the time, given that, I guess it cost a pretty penny.
I would assume so. Like
Yeah,
like I said, I
it's
always
cheaper because it's not in color. It's not colored. Although there are some, you can see some red there. Yeah, but
kind of makes it
otherwise, I
more
think
punk rock that it's in black and white. Honestly, it makes it look more old school.
yeah. And since we don't have any ads, I guess the sales of the TRC, the Twisted Red Cross tapes, pretty much
Covered it.
paid for that. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Was there going to be any more Herald X after Volume 2, or what caused the end of it?
Oh, I think concerts became few and far between. Yeah. I it stopped after Tommy uh also stopped recording some Twisted Red Cross artists.
Hmm.
You see, at the time, Twisted Red Cross was not only selling tapes. They had they had buttons, posters, merchandise, and all that.
Buttons. I
And
want a button.
yeah, I think there were also some T-shirts too.
Oh. So, I'm kind of shitting bricks here. Page 54, headline: Hardcore Satanic Cults Invade Manila. What the hell? What the fuck? Satan cults and scares Manila. What?
I think it
What?
was just some. I think it was just something I found among some demonstrators rallies. I read it. Oh, hey,
This is
maybe I
with
can print this at Herald X or something.
with regards to the Satanists who have infiltrated the scene, they're possibly looking for recruits. So if you're new to the scene, it would be better if you are careful with the people you equate yourself with. If you're not so careful, you might end up in a lot of trouble. That's awesome. That's fucking awesome. Oh my god, this is the
I,
greatest
I,
fanzine ever.
I can't remember why I used that.
This is the
But that
greatest.
story anyway.
I've heard the name Kumela products.
Camella.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's mentioned on Fatal Response. What's
yeah.
Kumela?
Camella is a brand of bags and clothing. Something like JanSport,
Oh,
uh, made in the Philippines. Yeah, they did the killing back then because of their association with new wave and punk, and but eventually they fizzled out. I don't think it's still
uh,
around. Yeah,
damn.
yeah, yeah.
There's so much shit that I'm gonna have to do research after this. Is
They even had their no, they even had their own band, the Camela band. Yeah, yeah. At the time, yeah. The brand was that popular. Yeah,
Wow. Um,
yeah.
okay, so you technically worked for Twisted Red Cross, right?
Part time. I have a regular job at the bank. Anyway,
So what caused Twisted Red Cross to tentfold in 1989 after Philippines? Where do we go from here? What caused it to go under?
I think Tommy just I'm not sure. But I think Tommy just lost interest.
Oh damn.
Yeah, he would later manage uh, a new wave band called Intro Voice.
Intro Voice. Is there any music by them that's available?
Oh yeah, a lot there's a lot of them in YouTube.
I will definitely check them
I
out.
I think some of them, but but Intro Boys is more pop. It's very far from the
Oh,
punk
it's fine.
bands that Tommy used to do. It's more, uh, more user friendly, if I and
That's totally fine. I love pretty much
and,
everything from the Philippines.
and big with girls. There are a lot of female fans. Yeah, I will give you the links to their YouTube songs, to
I
their big
would
hits.
greatly appreciate that. I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
on page 4 here. There's at the very bottom. It says Harold X Alternative Music Read, first issue, third third October something Philippines. The blue, no, the bureaucracy. Yeah, wow, it shows all the staff members. Commander in Chief, as you said, Tommy Tanchenko. Chief and Staff, Edwin Sallan, you. Interior
yeah.
Minister, Dadong A. Viray. Foreign Affairs, Ka Dominic Gamboa.
That's Papa Don, the former lead singer of Betray. He has also
Damn.
passed away. He was also the lead singer of this reggae band called Tropical Depression for a while. Yeah,
See, we got a special counsel, Arnold Morales. Obviously, I know who Arnold is.
Arnold of Urban Bandits. Yeah,
Corden what? Corden Sanitaire, maybe coordination. I don't know. Media coordination.
yeah.
Ikang Far AOD. It's kind of hard to read this writing. Photos
Oh,
and yeah.
those were the other people involved in the magazine. Yeah, they had small roles. Yeah, but they were also vital to the to whatever success we had at the time. If you may call it that.
Photos by Didits, Dedong
Gonzalez,
X,
yeah, yeah.
and
We sold out both issues, by the way. Yeah,
oh, I believe it. I'd buy it.
yeah,
And then comics and cartoons by Gary Santalin, Romeo Ice, and also front cover photo credits by front cover photo credits betrayed by Didits, and some of this is hard to read. So yeah,
yeah,
I noticed there's a lot of comics in this. That's pretty cool. Or
yeah.
and some punk rock comics in here. Like I'm just okay. When I asked how long did it take to make this, like how much time did you spend putting Herald X Volume 1 together?
Mm,
Because I know this
good.
isn't no overnight project.
No, I think it took us at least a month to do that.
Damn.
Yeah,
And this was all done
and
by hand, right?
well, Tommy gave me a manual typewriter.
Typewriter.
So
Holy
yeah,
god.
so
I can just imagine
so
this being a nightmare just to do with a typewriter, because if you make a mistake, you gotta. Wow.
and I'm not a very good typist. I'm a terrible typist.
I'm
So
dyslexic, so I understand you.
yeah,
You mentioned WXB 102, right?
yeah. Mm.
So what was that again?
WXB 102 was, well, during the 70s, it was a disco station.
Oh yeah,
That
disco
was its
station. Yeah.
format. And then in the 80s, it shifted to new wave.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you mentioned. Sorry, I that's what you were said at the
And
beginning of this.
and it was a well, apparently it was owned by Marcus Crony. So after the EDSA revolution, it got sequestered, and eventually, well, it had to close shop. Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, but it wasn't a big operation to begin with. We used to go there. The station was pretty small. Yeah,
I'm reading right here. Mass arrest at punk concert. Dear editor, enclosed is a controversial news item that appeared at the back of People's Tonight. Oh, by the way,
yeah.
so People's Tonight. I guess I could ask you about that. What's People's Tonight? Because I know
People's Tonight.
that's the cover artwork for Betrayed's '86 album.
People's Tonight is a tabloid, a daily newspaper in tabloid form. Sort of like the Sun.
Oh, so it's like would it be similar to the American magazine People's Magazine?
No, no, not at all.
Oh,
No.
I don't really read it. I just
It, it was a newspaper that featured, pedestrian headlines,
oh,
usually
so
some,
local people
yeah,
news.
local people news, drug bust,
Oh
stuff like
God.
that.
But
or or what do you call this? Crimes of passion and all that. Sensational news, yeah.
damn.
Mm.
Enclosed is a controversial news item that appeared on the back page of People's Tonight, October 16, 86, issue to the rearrest of more than 700 punks who attend the concert Suicide, the Only Alternative, which featured IOV, RDA, Human Instinct, Deceased, The Next, and Giant Idiots. Organized by the Anarchist Society UE chapter, tickets were sold at 10 pesos each, with proceeds to go to the bands playing. Half of those who attended were already inside the Unibelt. So the police just busted into the show and arrested everyone?
Yeah.
Damn. Like, was that a
But
big, oh, go ahead.
but usually those arrests, they let them go the following day.
I'm gonna say, like, what can they really do? They're just punks having a good time. It just
they,
pisses me
they,
off
they,
because
they, they
I,
don't they don't really as far as I know, they don't really detain them for long.
yeah, because they really can't. There's nothing illegal about being a punk. Well, at least
Well,
not in my
most of the
country. Not in my country. In your country, anyway.
Yeah, most of them are just mischievous kids, unless they broke something or whatever, and somebody complained. Yeah.
Since you were there in the beginning of the Philippine punk rock scene, um, obviously Marcos was still in power.
Yes.
What was the tension like being a punk rocker while you had a vicious dictator oversight?
Mm,
Like, were you ever feared for your life or anything?
no, not really.
Damn.
Uh, Situation, there was some tension, but it was pretty normal unless you're an activist, unless you were actively uh, campaigning, you were actively against Marcos. You were very open. They pretty much leave you alone, actually.
Really? Damn.
Yeah, yeah.
I've heard
I, I,
various
I
different
mean, I mean, I
stories.
mean, from what I know and from what I've experienced, well, usually it's the same in other administrations. They go after their enemies,
Yeah,
but
they go after the one who's gonna make the most noise about them.
yeah, yeah, yes, but usually regular folks, people who don't mean a lot, people like us, they they really don't care.
Well, the reason I ask is every single Filipino punk rocker who I've interviewed, I've asked what was it like because everyone gives me a different story and their different experience. And as an American citizen who's lived almost my entire life in this country, I lived here in the Philippines, so there's 24 years here. I just I know what martial law is. I know the book.
Yeah.
I know the book definition, but I've never experienced that. I've obviously never lived under a dictator. It just blows my mind that this scene, for a short period of time, existed under the thumb of a dictator. And punk rock music is about expression. It's about exploding the system. That's just
Yeah.
that's what intrigues me so much about it.
Well, it probably helped that Tommy was the son of what was the son of a cabinet minister of Marcos. And if he wasn't, he was just an ordinary guy. He probably would not be able
Get away
to,
with it all.
yeah, organize those punk rock concerts.
Shit,
So I guess
that's awesome.
they cut him some slack.
Damn. Well, he's
Yeah,
lucky on that.
and in turn also cut the other punks some slack as well.
Um,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Mm.
do you remember what Herald X Volume 2 says at all?
Mm,
What are some of the biggest parts of Herald X2? Because I've never seen it before.
uh, I remember we held a contest. We came up with a mascot, and we were asking readers to identify with this. I think we're supposed to give away some Twisted Red Cross premium items.
Damn.
Yeah, and I think we also did. Is this is Days Through Pinoy Punk and New Wave there in issue one? If it's not, then it's in issue two. I think I wrote about that.
The
Yeah.
read about what?
Uh, a timeline from a timeline about Pinoy punk, how it started.
I'm looking. The only thing, I mean, I actually haven't read this in full, as I said, so I could just, I'm kind of just
I
visually
believe
skimming
that's
it.
in I believe that's in issue two.
I'm gonna go
In,
with
in
that because I don't see any headlines that stick out with that on there. I
yeah,
see, I see,
and we also yeah,
I see
and we also
chaos.
did
There was an
profiles.
era.
Chaos, yeah, and we also did profiles of other TRC bands that were not featured in issue one.
Damn,
I,
I
th- I
need to
think I
find
think there
that.
was a piece about George, Imbecile and the Idiots,
Well, yeah, they're in issue
RD.
one.
I mean, they're in issue one.
Yeah, they're in issue one.
Then issue two probably had IOB and RDA. Yeah,
Wow.
probably the stories and other bands that were not featured in issue one. Yeah,
Were there ever plans to make an issue three or to keep it going for a long period of time?
there was, but Dodong later told me that there's no there's no more grow signal from Tommy, so I guess
He said go
uh,
signals.
I guess funds had dried out by then.
Damn.
I guess.
You just punned Mel
I
Vendigo's
really can
band.
I really can't remember why we stopped. No,
Well,
I
I
was just
mean,
waiting for the words for us to go on. But I think we had some material for issue three that that we never got to use. Yeah.
from my perspective, growing up on American hardcore, I kind of see. So, Twisted Red Cross is a hardcore punk label by the definition, and
Yes.
it went under it, or it stopped. I won't say it went under, it stopped in '89, which around the world, hardcore punk really fused out around that time because '89 going into '90, that's the melodic punk era. That's the Bad Religion, No Effects, Rancid.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
the not that not that. It's the you know it's the Fat Wreck era, as I like to call it, and I kind of see how maybe in the Philippines, it's like bands like Bad Omen and things like that. They're hardcore to what they are, but they're more '90s. They're more of a '90s melodic style.
Yeah.
And so I guess I
Yeah.
could see Tommy thinking like, I've been doing this for like, I've been in the punk rock scene for over 10 years now almost. And it's time to. The last Twisted Red Cross release, Philippines, Where Do We Go From Here, features completely brand new bands, and honestly, that TRC 17, it kind of wraps it up perfectly, honestly.
Yeah.
I wish TRC would still exist, and I know they made TRC 18 Rescue Letters for the Fourth Order with brand new bands on it in 2018, but that's just phenomenal. That the 17 cassettes, Herald X, that whole time period, it's small, but it's so explosive.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
The underground scene continued after that, but they were holding it some hardcore punk concerts in Recto in Moraita.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if Aldi Mananta was able to tell you that. And then Red Rocks started, and then the bars. I wasn't able to follow because it was no longer near my place,
Uh,
unlike in Pasay. So that's how it went.
well, as I tell people, as I do, especially at this point, I'm well informed on this. When Twisted Red Cross ended, that's pretty much when RMD, Still Ill, Middle Finger, Delusion of Terror, Mutilated
Yeah.
Noise, all these new record labels just kind of gave birth, and the scene still exists today. Was Twisted Red Cross the official very first Philippine punk rock label ever?
Not really.
Oh,
But it was no, but it became the biggest. There were independent releases before that. Betrayed.
I know they were on
The
DMZ.
Betrayed album was originally released under DMZ.
Yeah, but yeah, told me that.
Before that, a new wave band called Ocean Zoo
Ocean
released
Zoo.
released an EP called Annual Party
And I really
for
wish I could find that 7-inch.
yeah, yeah, and But later, Tommy, TRC distributed those early releases. Yeah. Even Betrayed was later distributed by
Yeah,
Twisted Red Cross.
but yet told me that Tommy reissued that, which
Yeah.
I know the '86 TRC Betrayed cassette is expensive. I just wonder how ungodly expensive the DMZ version is.
Yeah. But oh yeah, Private Stock was under Payola
Payola.
Records, independent. It was never some reason it was never picked up by TRZ.
Well,
Although I think
I was gonna say I've interviewed Mel Maniacal on that, and the reason for that is just it was never asked. Like
oh
Tommy knew that they were making an album and they were doing it by themselves, and just no one ever tapped on the shoulder and said, "Hey, we released this." It just never came up.
oh I see, yeah. But Private Stock also appeared in some of
Yeah,
the compilation, right? I
yeah.
think
The
they're in
Rescue Letters compilation, Brave New World Live.
Rescue Ladders, and then Tama na Away, yung the one about Katrina's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and on
You remember you heard about Katrina's, the bar that Didits
yeah.
Gonzalez owned? Yeah.
Oh yes, I've heard about it.
Mm.
Trust me, I've that's what kind of blows a
Yeah.
lot of penalty punks away, especially veterans, is when they talk to me like, "Oh wait, you know some of this?" I've
Yes.
okay, I've interviewed Arnold Morales, Alde Malanta, Fred Detour, Mel Maniego, you now, Tweety from Chococoy. Uh, I'm friends with Boyet Miguel, Jesus Espiritu, Bong Espiritu. I'm friends with. Well, you can look at our mutuals. I've talked to so many people from your scene. That's why I'm trying to collect as much information on it as humanly possible. I mean, Glenn and Elik, shout out to them of Brave New World, the group. They made me a moderator because they just love what I'm doing.
Oh, fantastic. Good to know.
I love the scene. It's Philippines. Honestly, Philippines is my home. Like USA, I know I was born here, but I lived there for a year. I love your country, man. I
And you're
can
coming back again soon, right?
Yeah, in like less than 90 days, I'll have an actual plane ticket booked. Like for the next 4 weeks, I'm trying to find the plane ticket's gonna be around 400 because I'm actually flying to Vietnam. You know what a balikbayan is, right?
Yes, yes.
I'm technically considered a balikbayan, and there's a visa called the balikbayan stamp, and in order to get it, you and your Filipino wife or husband, whoever, depends on your situation, but you and your spouse must show up at Manila or Cebu or one of the two bigger airports with a English copy of your marriage certificate and ask for the balikbayan stamp. And what that does is gives you a 1 year free stay in the Philippines, no visa bullshit. Because last year, whew, Bureau of
Wow.
Immigration, the Bureau of Immigration every 60 days had to pay like 3 to 6K for a fucking tourist visa. And
Oh, that sucks.
yeah, it's expensive. It's the tourist visa bullshit for 9 months is expensive. Cause you gotta go.
Yes.
We lived outside of Manila, so it takes about an hour and a half, 2 hours to bus to Manila from Tanza, and hotel stays, and sometimes it would take them a night, and like I always dreaded Visa Day, which Visa Day, you know where the Bureau of Immigration is, right?
Yes.
It's close to Recto Manila, so I'd already would have enough money saved up for the visa because I'd end up spending $100 easily, just
Yeah.
for hotel stays and the visa. I'd always say to my wife, "Hey, love, we need to go to Recto Manila. We need to go to Middle Finger." That's the biggest thing that I always looked forward to. It's like, yay, it's visa day. I get to spend $100. Shit, Recto Manila time. It's Middle Finger time. Woohoo! That was always just my go-to. Just hop on a. The first time we went to Recto Manila to Middle Finger, I took a tricycle and the dude scammed me like 500 pesos. And then after that, I just walked there because it's not that far away actually, just like several blocks. But yeah, I just when the first so I found Middle Finger Records. I found it on a blog spot. I can't remember the name of the blog spot, but I didn't know the address. I just knew it was in the Cardamar Shopping Center in the Nocturne Mall or something like that. And I had a picture of it. And like a caption. And so I was trying to tell the tricycle driver. I showed him the picture. He's like,
Cartimar in that's in Pasay, right? Yeah.
"Yeah, but
I used to go there anyway.
it's beyond the Pasay River." But
Yeah.
pretty much, I showed the tricycle. I'm like, "Can you take me to Middle Finger?" He's like, "Joe, I don't know what that is." I'm like, it's that way. It's in Recto Manila." He's like, "Oh, Recto. I'll take you to Recto." Okay. So yeah, he took me to Recto. He took me to the completely wrong part of Recto, completely wrong part of Recto. But it took me about 6.5, 7 hours to find middle finger because no one knew what it was. Like I was showing pictures to security, like P&P, to anyone. It's like, hey, can you help me find the Cardamar Shopping Center, the middle finger? No one knew it, and to an extent, like the article was written years ago, and I was like, well, maybe it closed down. And almost right before I gave up, it was getting late. I only when I got the middle finger, I had less than 10 minutes to look around. I was like, there
Oh,
it is! Like, because it's in the hallway. I mean, obviously you know where middle finger is, but it was so
yeah,
hard to find it. I was like, no one knew about it.
yeah, never easy. Yeah,
And it's not like there's like in the U.S. there's numbers on their houses, there's addresses. Over there, I mean, obviously there's numeric addresses, but there's no big sign telling you where it is. You pretty much have to maze it.
yeah, and literally ask people around. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the only way to really find anything in the Philippines is, hey, do you know where this is? Hey, do you... It's like, oh
yes,
God, Google does not work for everything over there.
yes.
Everything is so underground, off the charts. Another thing. So you said there's a Twisted Red Cross merc. Like what all types of merc did you guys make? Is there any Herald X merc?
As far as I know, no. There were posters. There were, I think, there were some
Flags?
buttons and pins. Yeah.
I saw some handmade.
Uh,
I'm gonna make a Twisted Red Cross flag. I'm gonna make one.
yeah. I think there were flags. Yeah. Uh, oh. I remember. We had this funny letter in our second issue. Yeah.
What was the letter about?
Uh, it's from the Philippine National Red Cross.
Is it two Twisted Red Cross?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
They were
God!
asking us. They were asking to cease and desist the use of
What the
Twisted Red
fuck?
Cross. That's why later it was just known as simply TRC.
Oh, I get you. I
Yeah,
never really noticed that it was kind of changed to that, but so the Philippine
yeah.
Red
Well, it still means Twisted Red Cross, but we cannot spell it out anymore after that.
I
Yeah,
I originally
yeah.
thought Twisted
We we
Red.
actually we actually published that letter in our letter section in the second issue.
That's awesome. I really hope I find this. I gotta read that. I
Yeah.
actually thought Twisted Red Cross was like a jab at the American Red Cross or something like that. That's what I thought it was, a jab at. You know the American Red Cross?
Yes, yes, yes.
I thought it
I
was a jab at that or something because I know that they've been known to go to third world countries and try to
yeah.
spread too much influence. So I thought that was maybe what Tommy was trying to take a jab at, like Twisted
I,
Red
ac-
Cross.
I now that you mention, it, actually, I have no idea how we got that name, how we got that. But the logo is pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah, it is. It's like I've seen pictures of the flag and it's almost
Yeah.
intimidating as Hitler's swastika just sitting there like
So
just a glare at you. It's like if you go to a
yeah,
Twisted Red Cross show, you see that fucking flag. It's like, oh god, this is gonna be big.
yeah,
Like, just a vicious red X with this
yeah.
black and white background just twisted up. Oh my god, that's so punk. That's one of the greatest punk rock record labels I've ever heard of. Like just the symbolics of it.
Yeah. Just right in the league of say what do you call it, slash, and what are the other label, SST.
How many do you own the original pressing of New Move for Error by chance?
Uh on cassette. I didn't have a turntable at the time.
Do you still own it?
No, I can't find it anymore.
Oh
Yeah.
damn. I've got the
Damn.
reissue of Enemy. I got it from Discogs. Um what the hell?
I
Oh,
actually had a copy of the had because I don't have it anymore. A copy of the 7-inch single of "We Are the One" back with Critter. The
holy
one
hell.
RCA. Holy shit! Yeah, that was.
Damn.
We had a fire. We had a fire in our apartment in during the 1990s. I should have saved that.
My heart just broke in half. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I would have
Oh
I
my
would
god.
cry so bad.
And well, in my opinion, the recording of We Are the One in Critter is way better than the one in New Move for Error.
You know, I gotta say, so I've obviously never heard the original pressing, and I don't know if I'll be
Yeah,
lucky enough to ever own that, because that's expensive.
yeah.
I've seen that thing go for thousands of dollars on eBay. But I have a digital rip of the NME cassette, and also I have the reissue on vinyl. The cassette version sounds a lot better than the vinyl. And I actually made a video on, so everyone in Brave New World's been waiting on me to review Enemy. They have. It's for like months now. I finally got it 2 months ago, but I haven't reviewed it yet. And the reason is, when I play it on any turntable at the regular settings, it sounds so almost slow, as if there's uh, a mixing defect with it. I have to turn the pitch up
Oh,
a little bit. I kind of have to make it a little more high pitch in order to actually like, for instance, you know how Poteet, the vocalist, his voice is high pitch? Well,
yeah,
in this one it goes, it seems today, it's in your head, always wanted what's best for you. Sounds
yeah,
like this. It's too slow on the vinyl. And so I was like, what the hell? Because when I first put that on the turntable 2.5 months ago, I was so excited, and I was like, what the hell? It's slow. And I had it on the right speed. I put it on 45, and then it was sounded different. It took me 2 months to realize that there's a pitch problem with it. And I'm gonna buy another Enemy, just as maybe it's just my pressing that's got a defect. That happens. You know, sometimes vinyl records have issues. It can happen. So I'm gonna buy
yeah.
another reissue pressing of it. But what all punk rock records do you have today?
Punk rock records.
Yeah, well, I mean, from the Philippines.
Uh, well, most of them are in digital form now. Yeah, in MP3. So I don't really keep them in physical form anymore. Well, I have in foreign. I have Dead Kennedys, Black Flag, Circle Jerks. Uh, of course, I have the bad religion, the Green Day, and all that stuff.
Nice.
Uh, yeah.
Did any of the American punk rock bands ever come to the Twisted Red Cross scene back then and play, or did you interview any of them in person for this?
No, I don't think they arrived. As far as I remember, there was this Australian guy. I don't know if you're familiar with him, Paul Kelly.
I think I've heard the name, but I've never talked to him before.
He, I think he was in the Philippines right around the late 70s, and he got to jam with the Jerks, and they were able to record one song in cassette that was played in RJ by Howlin' Dave, but the song is called Something Inside Me, but I don't think anybody has a copy anymore.
That's sad to hear.
Yeah, maybe I don't know if you can email or track down Paul Kelly. He might have.
I've got a nick for tracking people down, so who knows,
Yeah.
probably. I've never in my life published a book before.
Be sure to send Tommy Tanchanko a copy. You
I,
will be very happy.
oh yeah, maybe that will be the key to getting an interview with him.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And then if you can, like, try to find a Herald X Volume 2 if you can. I can't find anyone who has that. I mean, it's gotta exist somewhere.
Well, I'm trying to. I think the same guy who posted the PDF of the issue one may have a copy of issue two, but he hasn't. He probably hasn't gotten around to posting it yet.
Well,
There's a good chance.
yeah, I might send that person an email. I've been revisiting a bunch of the blogs that I've found the first one on, but yeah, I want to make that into a book because it needs to be remembered. And yeah, I'm so thankful that I got a 55-page high quality PDF of it, which seriously, that PDF, it's so high. Like, I took it to god damn it, Walmart's printing center, which I almost got it done at Walmart because they do actually make what's called photo books there. And since technically the pages are the pages are in PDF form, so they told me that they technically can make that into a book, but there's only one problem. You know what Walmart is?
Yeah.
Walmart will only do up to 22 pages, and I'm like, well, I got 55 though. They're like, yeah, we can't do anything that big. Like, damn it.
Well, there's a solution for that. Why not do it in installment? 22 pages at a time.
That'd be multiple books though,
Yeah.
and I gotta ship all this to the Philippines.
No, no, no. You can bind them together later. I don't know if you can do that.
Well, there's a couple of I'm gonna call them pressing plants because I like to use that term. There's a couple of book pressing plants, book publications. That's the correct term because I know someone who does that is going to bitch at me in the comment section. It's called a book publication, not a pressing plant. It's not a record. But
Okay.
in Lawrence, Kansas, and Kansas City, Missouri, near where I live, there's some book publications, and I'm going to get a hold of them and see if they can perform a magic spell to get this turned into a book, because I have no clue how to do that. I've never done that in my entire life.
Oh, it's about time you do.
Yeah, this will be my Burning Farm record release of a book. Never thought I'd ever say that. Hell no, never thought I'd ever say that. But that was like the last things that I was going to talk to you about in the interview. Any updates on your side? What have you been doing lately, music wise?
Music-wise, well, I'm just your usual music fan. I still write about music. I get to uh, I get to interview bands, artists, cover concerts from time to time. But I also write about other things. Yeah.
I didn't ask you this in the interview, which I'll go ahead and ask you now. I mean, so are you aware of Rescue Ladder and Human Barricade for the Fourth Order?
Mm, had it? They have a fourth order?
Okay,
Not sure.
so
Yeah.
you haven't heard of this then?
Yeah, but I'm familiar with the Rescue Ladder series. Yeah.
Well, in 2018, I've I own a copy of this radio station. They were interviewing Tommy Tanchenko, and he made the mention that he wanted to do another Rescue Letter album, but he didn't have the legwork to do it. And Redmean of the Punk Connection jumped on that shit. He's like, "Hey, I'll do it." And so Redmean got a bunch of punks together, and he pretty much made Rescue Letter 4, which is TRC 18, 2018. It contains a lot of
Wow.
veteran bands, plus some newer bands such as the Republicats, Isidro Project, and so forth, and the Vagabonds are on there. Well, I was going to ask you as a final question on this, because I gotta sleep a little bit, because I gotta work later on, but,
Okay.
if Twisted Red Cross would have continued, what do you think it would be like today?
Mm, probably it would. I mean, if Tommy's still running it, then it would be a lot like 12 Stone, 12 Stone Records.
You really think so, with the style of bands that are on there?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I mean, Tommy loves punk, but he is also a very savvy businessman. So he also sees the business side of things.
Hmm.
And,
Yeah.
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, none at all.
I mean, he has managed some really talented bands who have hit the mainstream here in the Philippines, who did very well. Mm.
So,
Uh, yeah.
yeah, Twisted Red Cross would have, wow. I can't really imagine that.
I mean, Tommy would have still founded, I guess, 12 Stone,
No, I mean,
but
I what I've been by imagine that it'd be weird to see Twisted Red Cross next to a mainstream Pinoy band's name. That's what I mean.
well, I mean, it's not so weird. I mean, if you look at the history of punk, the record labels like Sire, the Ramones,
Yeah.
they started out with all this punk and alternative acts, and then they later became the label for Madonna, right?
Oh yeah.
Same with Stiff Records, which have also gone mainstream to a certain extent, uh, and a few other and Virgin, yeah, Virgin Records,
Virgin Records.
yeah. I mean, look at Virgin now, right?
If you ever,
So, so I can imagine a similar evolution for TRZ.
I was talking to Senor Rotten, Jesus Espiritu of the Philippine Violators. You know him, right?
Yeah, what about, yeah?
I was talking to him on video chat. I had an interview with him the other day, and he told me that when Twisted Red Cross went kaput, that RMD was pretty much. My neighbor is mowing their fucking yard. That's really annoying. Do you hear that lawnmower?
Yeah, I do, I do.
Hold on a second. Fucking bastard. But anyway, hey, that's so fucking loud. That's gonna make this really hard to do. Of all the times, 11:30 a.m. on a fucking Monday, you son of a bitch.
All right.
Anyway, so
Anyway,
Jesus Esperity pretty much told me that RMD was almost the reincarnation of Twisted Red Cross. That it pretty much continued what TRC was doing, but in a different way. Which I do have many RMD releases, but it's just so astounding that Twisted Red Cross went under, and Jesus told me that like after TRC went under, for like a few years, there was almost nothing going on in the scene, and so him and Bong got together and RMD formed, and then like after that, there's like Mutilated Noise, there's Middle Finger, there's Still Ill, Delusion, Terror, Love from Hate, like all these other record labels that just exploded onto the scene, and into the 2000s and so forth. Take Core Collective. It's just beautiful, honestly, what happened just because Tommy and Twisted Red Cross.
yeah,
It's just amazing to think that one man, Tommy Tanchenko, said, "Hey, I'm gonna make a label," and then almost 40 years later, look what we have.
yeah. And other artists other guys have followed his lead.
And even you yourself, I mean, you wrote Herald X. You inspired countless Philippine fanzines that did the same thing that you did. So even you yourself, you're an influence yourself. Which what really bothers me, which I'll end it with this note. A big reason why I wanted to interview you is because a lot of people know what Herald X is in the Philippines, but I've learned that many of the Pinoy punks don't fucking know who wrote it.
Oh, I didn't write everything. Not all the articles. I mean, there were some contributors, but yeah, I was the one who put it all together.
Yeah, but not many people know that though, and now that's going to change.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Because you deserve that. I have read all 55 pages. You deserve that credit, because that thing looked. After really looking at it, holy shit, that was a lot. That looked like it took a lot of time to put together.
Yeah, it did, but I can't take all the credit for that. I mean, the Herald Dex was Tommy's initiative, and we had a very good artist, Dodong Biray, who was sadly no longer with us. Has
Oh
passed
damn!
away.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, that's probably why I can't find him on Facebook.
yeah, yeah.
I've been trying to look up that name and nothing keeps popping up. I was like,
No, it's very good. He passed away from an ailment, something about his intestine.
oh
Yeah.
damn! I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. Sometime I think I'm not sure if it's in the late 90s or the early 2000s. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that was a long time ago.
yeah. That's a long time ago. Dr. Todo's a very good friend of mine, and I really do miss him. And he would have loved the digital revolution.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Or
yeah.
what he can do with this.
It
Yeah.
saddens me that I can't talk to him. I can't talk to Hal and Dave or Poteet
Yeah.
of Durable Chaos, because I would love to sit down and have a conversation with Hal and Dave,
Oh yeah.
or Edmund or Wesley.
Oh yeah. It's got to be a hell of an interview. Yeah.
It's like this. He ran that radio station. That would just be Hell, that would honestly be almost a more powerful interview than with Tommy Tachenko himself, because Hal and Dave is the one who played it over the radio.
Yes.
But is there any ending comments you want to make on here, since I have officially got the 3 questions that got cut answered?
Oh, okay. Well, just the one I told you last time when we spoke privately. I mean, people can say what they want about Tommy Tanchanko. They can criticize him, or comment about what he did or didn't do with TRC and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, my friend, he was still the guy who started it all.
Exactly.
Yeah, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him.
Yeah, right.
Brave New World and all that stuff. Twisted Red Cross, which later became TRC, Herald X. It all has his stamp. It's
And I hope one day I can actually talk to the guy.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully, I mean, you'll be coming here in Manila soon, right?
Yeah, in a few months. That's gonna be. I told Albert this. That's going to be a burst interview. A burst interview is because John Fishbone told me he's gonna try to help me meet him in person.
Okay.
Pretty much, I know with Tommy, since he's busy, I'm probably not gonna get into 2 hours with him. So I'm gonna try to come up with 5 bold ass questions. 2 of them I've come up with. What was your influences? Tell me the story of Brave New World. Tell me the story of Twisted Red Cross. Tell me the story of Thermal Chaos. Go. Like, I want to, like, those are the main pieces right there. If I can get that man to sit down and tell me the story of Twisted Red Cross, then Thermal Chaos, Brave New World, what was it like? Just those bare basic questions, I think I can get some good substance out of that. I just feel like
Fantastic.
I'm not gonna get a 2 hour phone call with him.
Thank you very much, Anarka. I mean, it's been great talking to you, and I'm looking forward to
Yes, sir.
hear this interview. Yeah.
Have a go, mate.